first thing today is what to watch, because we do have some rain on Sunday.
Yeah, so we need some good shows to be binging here. Let's say good morning to local film critic Dale Pollack. As always, Dale has the 3 current titles that are currently streaming to review for us. So good morning to you, Dale.
Good morning, Jackson. Good morning, Jackie.
Thank you for being here as always, and I am so excited for the first one you're about to review,
Me
The
too.
Bear on Hulu. Both of us have watched it, and we are dying to hear what you think about it.
Well, I was a little late coming to this series, so I had to work and do season 1 and then watch season 2. I've got to say, this is one of the best series streaming. It is of such a high quality in the writing, the acting, and the way it's put together. And you have an amazing cast. Jeremy Allen White plays the lead, the chef, and Eben Moss-Bachrach is his cousin who he feuds with constantly, and Ayo Edebiri is the young cook who he brings along, who he mentors, and she is terrific. There is not a weak aspect to this series. It's strong in every way that you can make a series work. As I said, the writing is top level, and there is one episode, it was the second to the last of the second season, called Forks. It's one of the greatest TV episodes I have ever seen. It's like the famous one in Succession at the funeral, where everybody gave different funeral speeches, and people were blown away by that episode. The same is true in the Forks episode of The Bear. So if you're looking for a series and you have not found this yet, go and start. You will not be disappointed.
I'm so glad that you're on the same page as us. We have all of the same feelings and thoughts. It was an incredible series, even coming to the end of the second season. I just wanted to keep watching.
Yeah, and you know, it catches you off guard so many times and in so many different ways, where you think, oh, this episode, okay, sure. And then all of a sudden you have a moment and it just blows your mind.
Yeah, and it's, like you said, so beautifully shot. Yeah.
Really emotionally intense.
Yes.
And that's what makes a great series. So
Popcorns. All right, let's see the score. I'm assuming pretty good here. Yeah.
Yeah, I would give 5 if I gave them.
I would too. Okay, what's
another
up
thing you
next?
need to know too is that Jeremy Allen White is mine and Jackie's celebrity crush.
Yeah,
so,
we love him.
So we
we're
would give it
biased.
6 popcorns maybe.
I understand why.
Okay, up next.
So the next one is Live to 100: Secrets of the Blue Zones. What is this?
Well, it's a documentary about why people live much longer in certain parts of the world. And obviously, as an older person, I was interested in this. The author, Dan Butner, is our guide, and he takes us to Okinawa, Sardinia, Icaria in Greece, and Costa Rica. And he shows us populations that routinely live to 100 and even longer. And he goes into those reasons why, which are primarily diet, activity, and a sense of self-worth. It's really an interesting mix. And in the very last episode, he takes the principles he gathered from these foreign communities and tries to bring them into a small town in Texas, Albert Lee, Texas, and manages in a way to transform the town to make some of these things more easy. And he's doing this all over the country, and I think we should bring him to Winston-Salem.
Well, and it's such an interesting concept, and I'm curious how you thought they did in making the story interesting, because documentaries, especially if they're trying to be informative, get into communities you're not familiar with, it can be maybe slow. Did you feel that at all?
No, because he's such a good guide, and it's not heavy on the science. It's much more anecdotal, talking to people, showing what people actually do every day. And these very small little actions end up meaning something by the end, and it is remarkable to see how together these people are in their 90s and early 100s. And the age, only in the United States, only in the last 2 years since COVID, has life expectancy began to drop.
Right.
Otherwise, it's rising, rising, rising. And these zones, as he calls them, shows you why people and how people can live longer. And I think it's a very instructive series, along with being, in my mind, just fascinating.
Well, and before we get the popcorn rating, I have to know if there's one tip that you decided that you're going to keep with you, or one that really struck you.
Yes, we ordered our first jar of honey from Icaria in Greece, and it is delicious, and that's going to help us live longer.
Okay, all right. Give us your popcorn score.
Three popcorns. I mean, this isn't the most dynamic series, but it's a very enjoyable ride with Dan Buttner, and it is educational in the best sense of the word.
Very cool. Well, I love Honey too, so perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna live forever.
Yeah, really quickly, Invasion on Apple TV Plus is your third one. What do you think?
Well, we're almost halfway through season 2, and after season 1, I wasn't sure about this sci-fi series. It's pretty clear what it's about. Aliens invade the Earth. And there was a lot of talk in season 1 and the perils of one soldier trying to get home. And that kind of kept you going. But season 2, boy, are the aliens more present, and they are really frightening.
Ooh.
And these are some of the best aliens I've seen. They're very disturbing. They make horrible noises. They do terrible things to young people, which is what you want aliens to do, right?
Sure.
That's what ramps up the tension. So, and we see a kind of effort to show a united Earth. I'd say that's one of the weaker aspects of the series. It doesn't really give you a sense of global urgency. And they play around with the threat in maybe more ways than they should. There's no single person in the cast who I think really stands out, but it's a well done. You can see the money they put into it is on the screen, and the aliens, which are the stars of this series, are really good. So I'm giving it 3 popcorns. It's not the best dramatic series that's on right now, but if you're a science fiction fan and you like The Day the World Ended, this is your kind of movie. Your kind of series.
Very cool. And across all the different streaming platforms, you hit them all. Thank you, Dale, so much, as always. Here are those titles one more time for viewers at home. If you want to watch this weekend, of course, The Bear on Hulu, Live to 100, The Blue Zones, that is on Netflix, and then Invasion is the last one you just hit on Apple TV+. You can always find more reviews on Dale's website, dalempollack.com.